You quite finished, Mr. Stark? I'm sure the captain has some unfinished business.
What do you think?
Yes, I think it works.
Hello everyone, today on Hero Motivations, I'll be taking a look at the man, the myth, the legend, the first Avenger with the cheekbones, Captain America. Taking a look at Captain America's story, motivations, personality, how he evolved as a man, while also making a commentary on what it means to be truly selfless. Let's get started. When we first met Steve Rogers back in his first movie, he was a simple man of regular importance. Nothing about him on the surface set him apart from anyone else drafted or volunteering for the war. Nothing good anyway. He had a scrawny stature and this made him vulnerable and easily picked on by other men. Predators in the animal kingdom, and that goes for any animal on the planet, can make pretty accurate assessments on their place on the food chain, where they fit and who is or isn't a threat. A bunny will run away from a giraffe as well as a lion, even though only one is an actual threat to them, because the bunny knows it can't beat either. Humans are no different. Someone might look at Steve's physical appearance and conclude he is weak and a non-threat. Not really someone who can make a big difference.
He's still skinny.
So other men don't consider consequences or risk when they pick on him. But this risk assessment I mentioned doesn't take into consideration one very important thing.
I am looking for qualities beyond the physical.
Something Steve had, something humans evolved to have a more complex version of than any other animal. A mind. You can easily assess value in someone's appearance, how fast they might be, how strong, how aggressive, but if you have never met them, you cannot possibly tell with accuracy what they are thinking, what's going on behind their eyes, and same was true for Steve. He might have had the body of a lesser man and thus was underestimated, but he had the heart and mind of a hero from the very start.
You just don't know when to give up, do you?
I can do this all day.
He had everything a loyal and dedicated soldier should have. More than just brute strength, he showed respect for his superiors, was always ready for action, and would throw down his life for a bunch of strangers who, mind you, weren't the brightest or greatest examples of people worth giving your life for.
Get away! Get back!
From the very start, he had a sort of determination to prove his worth and value regardless of how he looked. It's clear that Steve had roots in all the qualities that make a good hero. He had bravery, determination. He didn't overestimate his abilities because he wasn't arrogant. All he wanted was to try his best to lay his life for those he worked with and the country he protected. Continuing with his story, after he was given the super soldier formula and transformed into Captain America, something interesting happened. His body changed, yes, but did his mind? I would actually argue no, not in the parts that mattered the most. He might have gotten a newfound confidence, but the most important things, his qualities, determination, the things I just mentioned, these were already there. So what the transformation actually gave him was the chance, the opportunity to use his qualities at their full potential. He didn't need to learn such important values like other soldiers might have.
Hodge passed every test we gave him. He's big, he's fast, he obeys orders, he's a soldier.
He's a bully.
His respect for others and himself when he was weaker meant that once he got his powers, they weren't seen like toys to use, something to play with. They were gifts that he probably didn't go a day by not appreciating. It goes without saying that the only thing better than being able to learn a skill is to already have it. When given the opportunity to really make a difference, he really did.
Sorry, son. Look, just give me a chance.
It's all a matter of perspective, and power is just the same.
How'd you feel?
Taller.
It's a lot like alcohol. If you respect it, you can control it, and it won't harm you or anybody else. But take more than you can have and abuse it for a time period and it will destroy you. Steve took what he got and made something extraordinary out of it. First thing I want to mention about Steve Rogers' personality is that his shield is actually the perfect symbolism of the type of man he was. What is a shield? It's an item that humans have used for centuries to defend themselves and others, something that stands in front of you to absorb damage. saying that he willingly and eagerly put his life in jeopardy to protect others like a shield, tough and solid. Respect. If someone gives you their respect, it may mean a lot of things, that they idolize you, that they think highly of you, that they see you as someone worth fighting or standing for. Steve was worthy of respect because he also gave it out. He had respect for his superiors, which meant that he could be relied upon to accomplish a task. A man with his power could easily turn bitter and drunk and flaunt that around.
You know what's in that cradle? The power to make real change, and that terrifies you.
I wouldn't call it a comfort.
After bringing back the soldiers from the Nazi camp in his first movie, he acknowledged a job well done, thanked his captain, and took the applause in stride.
Yes, sir. Faith, huh?
People with high levels of respect, such as Steve, usually don't have arrogance or pride, because if you know who is truly worthy of respect, you also respect yourself.
Let's hear it for Captain America!
You respect yourself for your strengths and your weaknesses, who you are, who you were, and who you will try and become. He told the bully off in the cinema because he knew everyone should be giving respect to the soldiers to fight for the war.
Who cares? Play the movie already!
Hey, you want to show some respect?
He gave 110% in all his training exercises and earned that respect back very quickly. Basically, he had a good head on his shoulders, had respect, gave respect, and treated everyone equally.
I can do this all day.
You cannot deny Steve had the stamina to get the job done. You have to admire a man who doesn't just try but won't stop until something is done. These are qualities that made him a good soldier, because a task to finish wouldn't be fixing an IKEA cabinet, it would be saving the world. These range from simple training, small missions, all the way to fighting Thanos. Looking back, I think there's almost a layer of stubbornness in his determination. When fighting his past self, it was sort of adorable that Steve was cringing at his past self, who was so relentless when fighting.
I can do this all day. Yeah, I know.
He was cringing because although commitment to finish a task is honorable, when being on the receiving end of it, the stubbornness and grit that past Steve had was probably very annoying to take. Thanos definitely felt the same, and that's why his speech was so personal.
All my years of conquest, violence, slaughter, it was never personal. But I'll tell you now, what I'm about to do to your stubborn, annoying little planet, I'm gonna enjoy it very, very much.
He wanted to break Steve's spirit before taking his planet, because he was so annoyed that how a small human man with no actual powers put up such a fight against him.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Captain America has what I call realistic optimism. Optimism is a sort of spectrum, and you can have a little, but the more you have, the closer it crosses into sounding like delusion. Like, saying it will be all better when it's clearly the end of the world sounds gross and wrong and out of place. At the start of Endgame, Steve stood as a beacon of hope while Tony sought none. He was calm and collected and willing to try while Tony was deep in cynicism.
Did he give you any clues? Any coordinates? Anything?
It wasn't so much the words he said, but Steve had this sort of energy about him that made him very comfortable to be around.
Let's go get this son of a bitch.
He truly wanted to lead his team to victory. So if you add some spice of realism, he knew that it wasn't guaranteed, and he was okay with that too. The optimism to try, but he was totally willing to lose if it meant he lost with his friends. What does it even mean to be selfless? Why would Steve jump on a grenade?
Grenade!
Because he thought he could take the damage and walk it off, get some brownie points? Did he stand in front of Thanos and his army because he was so sure he would win? Would he kung fu his way out? In both these instances, he made a choice, and he was so sure that he would go out fighting or protecting what he believed in. He didn't even have the super soldier formula when he jumped on that grenade. He would have blown up into little pieces. So why? Selflessness, the quality that means that you do good for others without any reward, completely out of the choice of being nice to others. This is the quality of a leader, a good person, and a hero. Steve showed this quality all the time, and that's what made him so likable and honorable. Standing back up in opposition of Thanos wasn't a presentation of his immense strength and power. It was a gesture of his sacrifice mixed with his determination. He would without a doubt die in that moment fighting. That's the true meaning of selflessness, right? Voluntarily laying down your life for your planet or your country or your friend is the most selfless thing someone can do, right? Now, is that realistic? No, not really. Hear me out. The sad reality is that Steve Rogers is a fictional character, and these types of people are far and few in between. Unfortunately, most people wouldn't lay their life down for some stranger. Does that mean that they're less selfless? Can you be selfless if you don't do these things? When it comes to what is the real meaning of selflessness, being selfless isn't just about all these amazing things. It's just as easy as doing little things for others. When you give a seat to someone on a bus, the smallest things matter the most. And that is what I believe to be the true meaning of selflessness. Give a little or give a lot, all by yourself, for anyone, for anything, and being happy with that alone. By the end of Captain America's journey, with all this selfless behavior, I really appreciate what the writers decided to do. He took his life back and spent it with Peggy. That gave him such depth because after all he had done, he finally did something for himself. Like if one day a year everyone gave Santa presents instead. That's how adorable I think that was. His choice to be happy, to grow old, hang up his shield for a job well done. Thanks for watching Hero Motivations, my video on Captain America and the meaning of selflessness. Tell me in the comments what's the smallest and biggest thing you've done that was selfless, and I'll see you in the next video.